Hello Bookish friends, welcome to my December wrap-up part 1. In this video, I will talk about the 4 books that I finished in the first half of December. This video will also be sort of a wrap-up video for the 3 books that I read for the readathon that I posted, which was the Christie's Missing Readathon. Like I did in my previous wrap-ups, I will insert the clips that I've recorded quite soon after I finish those works. Today is the 2nd of December and I finished the book which was a carryover from November, the 12th book in Paddington Bear series, Paddington Here and Now. Like all of the previous books in the series, this book also follows the adventures of Paddington Bear, who came from the darkest Peru and has been adopted by the Brown family. All of the short stories in this book are interconnected. In these interconnected short stories, Paddington goes through many adventures, such as performing piano, the mishaps that he did in their neighbors, Mr. Curry's house, and having a surprise guest for Christmas. Like the previous books, I liked some of the short stories more than the others. I especially liked the last 3. They certainly had the strongest plot, and I also quite liked the interaction of Paddington with Mr. Curry, which is always great. The fact that I listened to this audiobook with Stephen Fry's narration increased my enjoyment level. I gave Paddington Here and Now by Michael Bond a 7 out of 10. Today is the 7th of December and I finished the newest book on Fledabright Mystery series, which was titled Two Truths and a Murder by Coleen Cambridge. This was the first book that I finished for the Christie's Missing Readathon, for the prompt of a book featuring Agatha Christie. In this series, Fledabright is the housemaid of Agatha Christie, and she solves mysteries like an amateur detective. And Agatha Christie is actually one of the sidekicks of Fledabright in solving these mysteries. In this book, Fleda is invited to a dinner party by the hostess to find out if her husband is having an affair with one of the other guests. In this dinner party, one of the guests suggests that they play a game called Two Truths and a Lie. And in that game, she claims that she really did saw a murder. And the next day, her sister, who really looks like her, has been killed in an automobile accident. Of course, Fleda decides to investigate this murder with the request of both Agatha Christie and also the father of the girl who has been killed. Fledabright series by Coleen Cambridge is one of my favorite ongoing series that I'm following very excitingly. And it has become sort of like a tradition that I will read the most recent book in the series for the Christie's Missing Readathon. I also did like this new book a lot, and I was very curious about how the characters' lives would change as the overarching story. The mystery was fine, however, maybe because I read so many Agatha Christie books, it was not hard for me to find out who the killer was. However, the details of the mystery was structured very well, and there were some details that were quite surprising to find out, even though I could guess the killer. I really do love the interactions between Fleda and her love interest, Bradford. Overall, I gave Two Truths and a Murder by Coleen Cambridge an 8 out of 10. Today is the 13th of December and I finished the 2nd book that I was reading for the Christie's Missing Readathon, for the prompt of reading a book that is inspired by Agatha Christie, The Hunting Party by Foley. In this book, we follow A group of 11 people, 9 guests and 2 caretakers. The guests consisting of 4 couples and a single friend do come to celebrate the last days of 2018 in a Scottish Highland. And 2 quite antisocial caretakers, Doug and Heather, do accommodate to their needs. And we follow the events that leads to the disappearance of one of the guests from the point of view of Miranda, the most popular, beautiful woman who holds the group together, her best friend Katie, the single one, Emma, the outsider who joined the group at the latest date, as well as the caretakers Heather and Doug. The events do take place in 2 different timelines. One beginning from the time that they arrive at the hunting lodges. Second one beginning when they find the body of the missing guest. I really did like this mystery/thriller book. Although I categorized this book as a mystery, it also has a light thriller aspects like some of Agatha Christie books, such as And Then There Were None. It is very clear that Foley, as an author, was inspired by Agatha Christie in terms of creating the characters, their relationship with each other, as well as constructing a very well structured close-circle mystery with limited suspects. I liked the atmosphere of the book even more than the mystery, which was quite decent, like I said. I like that the characters were all quite grey and three-dimensional characters, with the exception of a few secondary ones. Overall, it was a very pleasant and engaging read for me, and I gave The Hunting Party by Foley an 8 out of 10. Today is the 14th of December, and in the last day of the Christie's Missing readathon, I finished the third book that I was reading for the prompt of a work written by Agatha Christie, and I read a archaeological memoir written by her, Come Tell Me How You Live, and she wrote this memoir using her married name, Agatha Christie Mallowan. In this memoir, Christie talks about the times that she joined her husband, Max Mallowan, in the archaeological digs that he and his team did in Syria for 3 years, between the years 1937 and 1939. She talks about her observations about herself, how she fits in the team, the different sections of the society in Syria, with different nationalities, and of course give some technical details about the archaeological expedition that the team did. Like I said in my TBR video, I was actually thinking of reading the longer autobiography of Agatha Christie, but because I was employed in the disaster reconstruction activities in Hatay for most of the readathon, I decided to read this shorter memoir, and many of my friends said that they enjoyed this work very much. After reading this memoir, I completely agree with them. This was just such a joy to read. I very much enjoyed Christie's observations about all of the things around her, and the way that she mentioned all of these in a humorous way. I was especially fascinated by how accurate her observations about people and different nations in the geography that I'm very familiar of. Most of this memoir takes place in Syria, and Syria is a neighbor country of Turkey. Actually, the city of Hatay that I was employed in is near the Syrian border. So this was a very interesting reading experience for me, comparing the different sections of the society living in the same geography today. But the additional delight that I had from this memoir was the subtle humor that Christie used in her writing. We can see hints of this very clever wit in some of her mysteries, but the wittiness of this memoir was at another level, which made it very fun to read, as well as the subject matter being quite interesting. So overall, I am very glad that I read this memoir, by Agatha Christie Mallowan, and I gave Come Tell Me How You Live an 8 out of 10. So those were the 4 books that I finished in the first half of December. Please comment down below, have you read any of the books that I mentioned in this video, and what did you think of them? If you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. As for Turkish word of the day, I'm going to choose how. How means nasıl in Turkish, and nasıl is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.